Welcome back to my channel. My name is Catherine, and here I work toward creating a safe space for regular people like myself to just find encouragement to live our lives more purposeful, especially as it relates to fitness, parenting, and entrepreneurship. Today, though, I would like to really talk to you all about self-compassion. Now, I know it's a bit of a deviation from the beast mode, you responsible for you, let's get it, go hard message I've been on, but it's really not. Like, we really need both, right? You know what I'm saying? You have to be able to push yourself, but you also need to be able to recognize when you need to be softer and kinder to yourself. Listen, life is difficult, and none of us will get through it without experiencing a failure, a setback, some kind of hardship, and even tragedies. It's just a part of it. We will get the suffering and the joy. It's really just a part of the human experience. But most of the time, when something painful happens to us, we act as if something has went wrong. We take it personally. We become very hard on ourselves or start blaming other people, neither of which is a helpful or useful practice. So I've been reading and reflecting, and I kind of just want to share with you what I've learned about self-compassion. It has 3 parts: mindfulness, common humanity, and self-kindness. Now let me share what each part talks about. Mindfulness is the essential first step of just being aware of what's happening to you, your emotions, and even physically what's happening to you. And you are doing this on purpose. The opposite of mindfulness is when we get stuck in that loop of daydreaming on what just happened or what happened, you're stuck in the past, or you're just so worried about the future. See, that is stuck in the past, worried about the future is missing what's going on in the present moment. And when we take that time to just be aware that in this moment, it's hard, we can miss it in the loop. You have to be present to know that what I'm going through right now, this is hard. It makes so much sense that this would be the first step, because often when something is going on, we want to plow right to fix it or ignore it or blame somebody else. But just accepting what is helps you. That's the first step of the healing process. It's just staying in the moment on purpose and realizing that this is hard. The second element is common humanity. Now, common humanity is based on the idea that we are all having a common human experience, right? So this helps you because oftentimes you think when something goes wrong that there's something personally attacking you, like you're the only one that has had a difficult moment. And that's just not true. I've really been working hard through the death of my grandmother. I lost my granny a couple of months ago. It's very hard for me. And I still have to battle with the fact that others have went through this before and others have survived this before. Yes, it is hard, but I'm not alone. The universe is not conspiring against me. It's not even personal. It's just a part of it. The opposite of recognizing this common humanity, we become isolated. It gives rise to feelings of inadequacy, you know, like you suck, you should have did something, you should have, oughta, woulda, you know, you get in there, and that's not healthy. But once you realize that others have been through this, you know, you kind of realize maybe you part of a bit of a club or something. But it's not about you specifically. Yes, this moment is hard and it's real, but it is a part of life. We don't even get the joy without all of the suffering as well, you know, and just reflecting on that. Common humanity really just allows us the space to realize that I'm not perfect, but neither is anyone else. We're all imperfect beings here, having a human experience. Now, the third part, super vital, is the self-kindness. Self-kindness is where, just like it says, we take the time to treat ourselves like a best friend or a hurting baby. If a baby was in pain, you wouldn't start reprimanding the baby. No. You maybe pick up the baby. You might caress the baby, pat the baby. You know, the baby just went through something hard. We need this. If you don't hear anything else that I said, hear this. We have to be able to be kind to ourselves. The world is hard out here. And then if you are only spending all of your energy like, man, you really messed that up. You always doing stuff like this. This is dumb. This is not helpful. If something hard happened to your best friend, you might be like, oh, I'm so sorry that this happened to you. What do you need from me? What can I do to ease it? Is there anything I can do? What do you need right now? You'd say things like that. That is what you need to do for yourself. Y'all, when I lost my granny, it was so hard. At first, I just spent a lot of time in the what ifs because I felt like maybe I should have been closer. You know, she's needed a lot of help over this last year. I was so angry at my father, my aunts, my uncles for not doing more for my granny, but through practicing some self-compassion, first I had to just be mindful that I lost my granny, and that's hard. You know, that's hard, and it's okay for that to be hard. But again, the universe is not conspiring against me by taking my granny, you know. And then I had to really realize that it's a common experience. Other people have lost a loving grandmother, and other people have healed, and I will too. But instead of trying to be like, well, she was 88 years old, of course, you know, she lived a good life, you should be okay, that, you know, you should have expected this. Instead of doing that, I just had to be like, what do you need right now? You're going through something. What do you need right now? And what I needed at that moment, I needed to be surrounded with my children, you know? I needed to connect with my mother and my aunt. I needed that one-on-one time that I was able to have with my father. Those are the things that helped me not feel isolated, and the fact that I just lost a loving grandmother, you know? The last thing that I wanted to share is something that I'm practicing. Me and this pencil. Okay, something that I'm practicing, and we'll just see how this goes. So if you find yourself in a moment where you're feeling derailed, stressed, you could take a moment, you know, we're gonna do this together, you know, we're gonna try. You take a moment and you sit somewhere comfortable, you know. Maybe you close your eyes. I close my eyes. Or you could maybe gaze at the floor gently if closing your eyes feels uncomfortable. But you just take the moment, you know. You want to breathe deeply. You want to recognize your breath. Then it's safe to visualize the stressor. Visualize the issue that's going on, you know, while you're breathing. And you want to notice if you feel some discomfort in your body. And if you do, maybe you want to put your hands there. You know, maybe it's here. For me, it's often here. And you just want to say, this situation, this is hard. This is hard. This hurts. You know. That's the mindfulness part. And then you want to realize and even say it to yourself. Others have been here. Others have been here and they survived. And I will too. And that's the common humanity. And then the last thing you want to do is you just want to ask yourself, what do you need? What do you need from me? You know, this is a hard thing. What do you need? And that's the self-kindness. We just breathe through it. Now, at first, this will be weird. This will feel uncomfortable. You may push back against it. But I promise y'all, if you practice it, it gets better. It eases, and then you're able to move through these hard times a lot quicker. And I do not pretend to be an expert. I'm just out here trying.